Okay, hi there. I just want to go through exercise 1 to 4. It's not for marks, but it is going to help you a lot when it comes to the first of our 2 tutorials, which we're going to do a week after next. So it just consists of these 4 pages, basically, and you just need to, in your own time, but before the end of next week, which would be the 31st, okay, is just complete these 4 exercises. They're listed here on this PDF document that is shared on the LMS. And if you go to the LMS over here, if you look under exercises 1 to 4 there, okay, I've just attached the PDF, and it looks like this. And basically, you just need to draw these things into the model space of AutoCAD. Okay, so ignore the fact that it's on white paper right now. You'll be drawing on the, that dark AutoCAD background with the grid or however you have it set up. And you need to draw the point of the exercise is to be accurate. So you need to draw it to the sizes that you see written on the page here. You don't need to actually put the text in. I don't expect you to write 1000, less than 45. That is just telling you the dimension of that line. So when it comes to you drawing this, or copying this particular design here, in AutoCAD, just make sure that this line, for example, is 1000 millimeters long at 45 degrees, and that this rectangle is 1000 by 2000. Okay, and then for the rest of the objects that you see here that don't have exact dimensions, you can just make it, as close to the example as possible. So just make sure that the circle here, for instance, touches the top and bottom of that rectangular shape. And I'll give you a couple of tips on how to draw some of these things shortly. So this one, for example, this is exercise 1 on the first page, has got a hatch fill in it. So you'll end up using a circle here. I can see an ellipse being used. This is a rectangle, and then there's some lines that sort of demarcate this blank area here, and then you will hatch the inside, okay, and then this object here is a spline, if you remember, so it's that curvy line, and then at the bottom of this page, okay, which you can just count as part of exercise 1, is these polygon objects that have been put in an array, which you should know how to do now. 1, 2, 3, there's 6 of them, okay, so that's a polar array. And then these objects will have a solid fill, okay, so there's a tip. So that's I'm basically telling you how to draw the thing. And there's no size attached to this, so don't worry about drawing it to particular scale. Just make sure that it looks kind of like this, and you end up with this kind of 6-pointed star as a negative space, like try and make these gaps kind of small and tight the way that they are there. Don't make your polygons really far away from one another. So that's exercise 1. Exercise 2 is to replicate the smiley face. Looks like the one that you find on a butler's pizza box, but slightly more scary. So you'll see the spline is being used for his hair there. He's got like an arc which forms his mouth. He's got eyeballs which are basically circles, and then one of them is hatched solid. You can use probably a mirror there to avoid having to draw both sides of the bow tie. Here's an object that you could probably draw as a square, and then you could fillet it, and then you could put it into a rectangular array. So you don't need to draw each one of these kind of leaf shapes. You just draw one and then use the rectangular array. So maybe I'm telling you too much here. And then it gets a little more complicated for exercise 3 and 4. But it's really important that you do these things, because we are going to use all of the tools that you use in these exercises in the very next week for the first tutorial, which is for marks. So it's going to make your life a lot easier if you just take the time to do these exercises. So exercise 3, you'll see that there's a bunch of polar arrays going on here. Elliptical object, this polygon object with a hatch in it. This has got a solid fill. Ignore those fine lines. I don't know if you'll see them on the video, but just make this a solid black area here. And some arcs and stuff going on in the center of that shape. That's exercise 3, and you need to draw it to this size, 1000 millimeter radius for the circle, which is this one here. Okay, the one that has these little black parts hatched. The ellipses are 400 by 200, which are these ones that go around the outside, and the polygon has a 200 radius. And if it's inscribed or circumscribed, it's not really going to matter, but make sure that at least one of the measurements across the polygon is a 200 radius. And then the last exercise, exercise 4, which has these shapes. You'll see they're basically repeated in a almost rectangular array. and then there's a couple of hatch areas to the selected objects, not all of them. So here's a clue here. Don't do the array with the object already hatched, because you're going to end up creating that hatch across all objects in the array. What you want to do is create the array without the hatching first, probably explode the array, delete the 2 center objects that you don't want, and then just select these last couple of random areas here, these little triangles to hatch. Okay, so those are some big clues about how to draw it. Yeah, but basically you should just get familiar with the tools and everything we've gone through up to date, and figure out how to the best way to draw these things yourself, while still making it look like the exercise, and using the dimensions if there are any specified. So yeah, definitely do that. It'll be good practice, but try and figure it out for yourself first. That's how you're going to learn. So good luck. Very good luck.